So I want to end this webcast asking you about time. This was a time-intensive project, so weeks, maybe 6-7 weeks, with one overall task. How did you feel about the fact that you had to spend that much time on one task?
We were a little nervous at first, knowing that we still had other standards to cover and that we had the CRCT coming. But then when we truly caught the vision of what all of this was going to incorporate and entail, from the social studies with the reading and the writing, it seemed very doable. The trick was keeping the students engaged the whole time, or so we thought. But really, that wasn't an issue at all. The kids loved the project. They loved the changes throughout it.
Why do you think they liked it so much?
Because it changed. It wasn't just, let's read this text over and over and over again and make notes, but we kept them engaged through the PowerPoint presentation, the book trailer, the foldables, the group work, the peer conferencing. We held them accountable by the checklist. They had things to do. They were constantly on task and busy, and I think that kept them engaged because they had time frames. We didn't say, okay, it's work time, and you have 30 minutes to do this. We were like, you have 15 minutes. You need to do this, this, and this, and discuss it. So they were engaged throughout the whole unit.
A lot of those assignments we looked at could have been the end. You know what I mean? Like, there were things that they had to work towards and they had to develop over time. What about covering all the standards? Are you worried that if I spend this much time on this task, I'm not going to cover the standards I need to cover?
Well, part of Common Core is slowing down, going deep.
Right.
And so that was really important to us. And when you do slow down and go deep, in a way, you can cover more, especially within that literary aspect and looking at the text. But with as much as we collaborated together and then with the social studies teacher, that worry really went away because things were still moving on.
Look, we posted the documents, some of the texts, and looking at those essays, knowing that your students are not, these are not all gifted and talented. It's not a district, right? We have about 30% African American, 30% Hispanic, and then 30% what have you. So what about, what did you see that you were really proud of, that you thought was really a big success, knowing your students, knowing what your goals were, that you really felt strong about?
We've said over and over again that these kids were able to do what we thought was high school level work, but approachable for 10-year-olds, and that not just, like you said, the gifted kids could do it. All of the students were able to accomplish the same thing.
What percentage of your students would you say were not able to succeed, that didn't do it to the level that you wanted them to? Were there any of them that weren't able to complete the essay?
I would say less than 5%.
Less than 5%.
And when I feel like when we're saying not to our expectation, that means they didn't produce a 5-paragraph essay with a thesis statement and their focus, and it was organized with transitions.
Right.
And, I feel like our expectations are really high. So when I say 5%, they might have produced a 3-paragraph essay with one focus.
But they still produced.
But they still
They
did
still
it.
produced something.
Everyone participated.
Yes.
Okay. What about next steps? If you were to do this again, what might you change? What might you do differently?
We would really like to have more time for the kids to revise and edit their work and then to make it their own, to add voice, to connect with themselves with the essay. That way it's more approachable to other readers, and it sounds more engaging. That's something that we would like to change.
Do you have any big tasks like this planned for second semester? Have you been, or for the next 6 weeks or 6?
We, as a system, have written some units that we've been following across the year.
Okay.
And we kind of deviated
Oh,
from those.
so this is kind of an experiment.
So this was an experiment.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe
go
this
back
could be
to following
incorporated in the
units.
revision of those units,
Yes.
perhaps. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you letting us come here. And the work that your students have done has been quite impressive. And your expectations for those students is, I think, a huge part of that. So On their behalf, thank you, and on behalf of our audience, thank you very much.
Thank you.